Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're setting up my December spreads and the theme that I chose was Northern Lights. But instead of doing it with watercolors or using alcohol-based markers for a smooth transition between the colors, I decided to try and use water-based markers and colored pencils. It didn't come out as good as if it was with the other two materials, but I really wanted to try. So first I did the outline with the neon green, and to give some depth I used the blue marker to make a shadow of the green. Then with the colored pencil I painted it all, and finally to give the illusion of the wave I used again the neon green but upward with some strokes. Since the paper is white, I wanted to give the contrast of the black to remind of the dark sky when you see better the northern lights. So instead of having to put black paper in all the spreads, I decided to cut some mountains out of the black paper and put them on the bottom of the pages. And to outline the shape, I used a Faber Castell metallic pen in the color Wanderlust that's a bit green, and my idea was to give the effect of the light from the sky reflecting on the mountains. At least that was the idea. I don't know if I really pulled that off, but I tried. To define the outline a little more, I went over again with a metallic pen to make a thicker line, and then it was time to draw a little moose. I really wanted to put another element on the spread, and I thought it was cute to add a little animal, because I also did that in my last December plan with me with the owls and the reindeer, I think. It was really easy to draw, especially since it was a really tiny drawing, and that helps to make it feel like the mountains and the sky are gigantic. For the titles, I used a simple lettering style to not catch so much attention, because I wanted the Northern Lights to be the main focus of the spread, and I didn't use any font, I just wrote in my usual calligraphy, just a little bit more cute. And Safira wanted to see what I was doing, as per usual, and she had to lay almost on top of the notebook to see really well my work. So next is my quote page, and the quote I chose was "Remember to look up." I don't know who said it, but I really like it and went really well with the theme. Because, If you are always looking to the ground, you might miss something above you. I used the point 1 of my Ohuhu Fineliners for the main words of the quote as I did for the title, and tip 0.5 for the smaller words. Moving on to the calendar spread, I started again with my sky, and then instead of making the calendar just a basic shape with one outline, I used the three main colors of this theme: the neon green, the more bluey color, and the black to make a box for each day of the month. I did a similar thing in my May plan with me as well. I guess this setup is a compilation of details of some themes that I did throughout the year. And I drew the boxes with rounded corners because since all the elements are more curvy, I didn't want to bring the sharpness of the corners into the setup. So it took a while, but I did it. And this is the part that really tested my patience. So I had to put the mountains on the bottom, so behind the calendar. So I had to cut little boxes the size of the calendar to glue on top of the black paper. But there were some that the paper didn't cover all the box. So for that ones, I had to cut a round box with my X-Acto knife, and since I didn't cut the round corner, I went over with the black pen and just filled the space, and you just have to see what I mean. I also decided to make the shape of my to-do list following the shape of the mountains, just to make it a little bit more purposeful instead of the regular rectangle. Then I just added the title, and I was looking at my inspiration photo for the Northern Lights, and I saw the different colors that it had besides the neon green and the blues. So I tried to bring these other colors to my drawing with the colored pencils, in purple and pink, just coloring little parts to give that subtle effect. The pink doesn't show up on camera, but in real life you can tell it's there. Next is my weeklies, and I kept them pretty simple with an horizontal Dutch door. I also did one of these in my October plan with me from this year. Again, the compilation of different layouts. And on the top, I drew the lights again, and on the Dutch doors, I just drew round boxes for each day and used the three colors for the outline, as I did in the calendar. Consistency throughout the whole setup is the key for a good theme. Even if the black paper isn't on the spread, the other elements are. With the weeklies done, let's move on to the habits and mood tracker. Starting with the habit tracker, I'm just going to track 4 habits this month because I'm not staying consistent with them. It's happening a lot in my life right now, so I'm not beating myself up for that. So I'm trying to take it easy, and if I don't keep on track of the habits or the mood, it's fine. At least it's there if I really need it. I just did basically the same thing as on the other spreads, the northern lights, the mountains, the title, and in this one, the shape of the calendar for each habit. And as you can see, I am now in my pajamas because I woke up a little sick in this day and I just didn't really want to change my clothes. So I just recorded the rest of the video in my pajamas and went to bed. mood tracker is really cute. I did a landscape with line art. I drew some mountains, a little moose, and behind it, a full moon that's coming up. And on top of that, the wavy lines are the northern lights. I wanted to draw something easy, and this is it. It took me like 5 minutes to draw this. Then I just had to put the numbers on each space, and I forgot to film that, but I also chose the colors to color in each day, but you'll see that on the flip through and the close-ups. Next is my favorites page. This is where I put all my favorites of the month. It can be anything like my favorite song, food, movie, clothes, book, literally anything. I used again the same technique as I did for the calendar because the mountains were going to cover up the boxes on the bottom, so I just made the boxes with the exact size and cut them from some spare parts of the paper. I like to save my scraps from Dutch stores to use in situations like this, or to make a add-on to my journal, or even to hide big mistakes. On the right side, I made a gift list. If you celebrate Christmas, you know that this is the time to start buying presents for family and friends. So I like to make a list of my ideas for each person on a separate place like my phone notes or a piece of paper. And after I decide what thing I'm actually going to give to that person, I'm going to write on this list the name of the person, the presents, and if I already bought it, and if I wrapped it. Because sometimes you buy the presents, but for some reason it stays in your house untouched, and then you have to wrap it last minute. I usually don't forget to do that, but you never know, so this is to avoid it from happening. Since the table was covering most of the bottom part of the page, I was trying to color in the space around the table with black, look like the black paper. But it didn't really work since the marker wasn't black enough to be similar to the paper. So I just put another mountains on top to hide it, and I doubt it. But if I really need the space that the paper covers, I can just take it off. Then I colored every second line of the table with a pastel icy blue marker just to add something else to the spread, and then it was time to write the titles. And the last spread of this setup is going to be my packing list. Yes, another one, because I'm going to Berlin and Brussels on my Christmas vacation. Again, with the same friend that went with me to Paris and London. I'm going to go after Christmas because I'm not going to miss Christmas with my family. It's a tradition that I love, and I also love Christmas, so I can't miss it. And then I'm going to be back before the new year. It's only a 4-day trip, 2 for each city, but I have to enjoy every day that I can to travel. If any of you guys is from Berlin or Brussels, please tell me in the comments what I should bring. Because in Portugal only snows in the mountains, so I never seen snow, and I think I'm going to take boots that are good for snow, a really good winter coat, a beanie, and gloves. But tell me if I should bring anything else that's important, because I also don't really know the temperature, since Portugal is cold in the winter, but I think it's not as cold as Berlin, for example. So help me, please. The setup is finally done, so it's time for the final flip through. This was a bit more chill than usual, a simple setup. I drew a lot on this one, and I like to make more collage and scrapbooking type setups, but sometimes it's nice to just draw. And starting today, I'm going to upload a video every week until the new year. I can't guarantee that's going to be every Friday because life happens and I'm not on YouTube full time, but I'm really going to try. So stay tuned because December is going to be filled with many setups, both in my bullet journal, my reading journal, and another journal. I'm not saying anything more. Check out my affiliate code below for Hebe and like and subscribe. It helps me so much. Don't forget to click the bell to receive notifications and not miss any video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!